Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another stream for Shadows of Nox. This will be Echoes of the OSS again, and this time around we will be going into the code. The code is a pre-written scenario done by Chaosium, written by Christopher Lackey with Lynn Hardy. And it's in their Mansions of Madness Volume 1 book. If you are interested, you can go and check that out.
Link will be appearing in the chat.
Good times. Awesome. And yeah, so running it here, I'll of course modify some of the things of it just to match in with what we've already established in our story, but it should be fun times. And I hope you all enjoy it. For tonight, with Nora and Forrest, of course, you are both recovering from the shootout at the Sunset Motel. And Forrest was essentially through Agent Gleason's military connections and everything flown back to Cambridge Hospital. In transit, had the care of military medics. And pretty much got you all back, as well as got Rocco and Cherry back to Cambridge. And yeah, now Forrest is in Cambridge Hospital. Nora, you are still in your dorm at the Radcliffe dormitories, and now have a little bit of schoolwork and everything to try to catch up on, while also probably visiting the hospital and being there past visitor hours.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Most likely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
She's there until somebody kicks her out.
Right. Yeah. And I doubt there'll be many people that do that, right? Yeah. So as far as things go mechanically, we you get to potentially up your luck, which again, that's just a normal luck roll. If you fail your luck, essentially, then you get to add a d10 to it. So,
Man.
Forrest doesn't get any more luck. Seems about right. Neither does Nora. Sad.
Man.
Yeah.
But now we get to go into the skill ones. So hopefully that gets the quote-unquote good roll out of the way.
Yeah.
And you can up some of your skills.
So we have to fail this.
Right, for this one.
Oh,
all right,
there we go.
Nora gets to up her archaeology by a d10.
Yeah.
9. Nice.
Ah,
That's good. Oh, come on. Roll20 thinks you're plenty a good actor there. You're fine.
Yeah.
So Nora has a 20 in archaeology now. That's awesome. And her first aid goes up. That makes sense.
Yep, that would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
So
there you go, Forrest.
So that's a D10.
Your listen goes up by a D10.
Okay. I will take that. So 59 now.
Library use failure, really? Wow. Awesome.
It's only a 58.
Right, but still, like that's really good.
But yeah,
Yeah.
So that brings it up to
let's see. Okay, so next we're going from the top down. This is going to be.
Yeah, right. Oh, of course.
Of course.
Critical success.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Listen. All right.
Oh, up by a full 10.
Wow.
Got that paranoia on lock.
Right. Nice. And I think Nora's first aid at this point could easily qualify her to be a first responder. Right? I think it's just having actual medicine as a skill is the only thing you're missing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But
nice.
Yeah, because anything 50 and above is a professional level. So
I believe so. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep.
Forrest's handgun doesn't quite improve. What? Okay.
No.
But Nora's occult does. Nice. Oh, Forrest spot hidden. Nice. That's good.
Okay.
Your
Yep.
paranoia and Nora's paranoia going up as well.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Nice.
Nicely done.
56.
Good time. Just doing some
6 and
leveling.
7 is 13, so that's 63.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah, there really
Is
wasn't
Anything
much.
else I got? Oh, my
Yeah.
cryptography.
So turn that.
It does not increase.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, I'm already at 75, so that was a
Right. Yeah.
long chance. All right, that's
It's
all
all right.
mine.
If things go the way I think they will tonight, you'll likely get a chance to put a dot next to cryptography again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Dr. Sommerfeld likes his little cryptography games.
That's true.
Oh. All right. Unfortunately, Forrest, I don't know if you'll get a chance to use a handgun or fight anybody this time around. All right. Unless you get real surly with the orderlies.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
But it is nice that with the idea of your brawl skill, right? If you do finally advance that, like you do get that to happen, that it would also help your sanity because of the confidence that comes with having a skill above 90. I have to check to see exactly how much that is. I don't think it's a lot.
I got a ways to go before I get anything above 90.
Right.
I think cryptography is the highest I've got.
Yeah.
Which is fine. My sanity's 79.
Right.
Like I started as the most sane in the group.
I think you might have. Okay, there we go. And it'd be a 2d6 sanity award. Getting it above
Nice.
90. So yeah, the moment you make that, you could potentially get 12 sanity back.
Or only 2.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right. I was trying to be optimistic.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, is that everybody's skills?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, so you know, are both back. Cherry is, I'm assuming, of course I'll let Christina change this if we need to, but I'm assuming she's visiting both Nora and Forrest, right? At least every once in a while over the course of the month. Likely doing more, like, I guess, introductory missions for Agent Gleason to get into the SSU, which is essentially what you're all kind of officially a part of at the moment.
Right. Yep.
And then Rocco has been likely assigned to probably be Nora's bodyguard while Forrest is in the hospital.
Did such a great job of it the last time.
Right,
Why not
right.
give him? Why not let him do that again?
Yeah, he's only recovering from a concussion now. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, yeah, he couldn't do it before he got his brain scrambled.
Right. Yeah, they probably gave him a cover job of being a mechanic in some way, somewhere on campus, right?
Nora, I did think of something Nora would do in this downtime that Forrest is not going to like, so she's definitely not going to tell him until afterwards.
Okay.
Because she's going to talk to people at the library and try to figure out who that guy was.
That makes total sense. That honestly is probably something that Rocco would be kind of assigned to do, right? As well. Cherry might also be in one way or another, you know, involved with that. I know, based on the information that she got from, the names Elizabeth Bentley mentioned and everything, the couple higher ups in the OSS and everything, if she does in fact report that Agent Gleason, then that will go to, other people in the agency to investigate further, right? But I think as far as the names on her list go, of which ones were at least confirmed by Elizabeth Bentley, as far as those actually supposedly involved in Soviet spy rings, would be Clint and Claire Connolly. So that's probably what her next mission, as far as that end of it goes, from Agent Gleason. Also because they've been seen in the general area of Boston, Cambridge, or whatnot last. At least Clint has. But with them being busy doing their thing, there is also, of course, the mention of sanity, right?
Yeah.
And do you, either of you two, over the course of this month, try to do something that would kind of recoup your sanity loss, essentially, right?
Yeah.
You could actually get a therapist if you want, in some way. You could be fully institutionalized. I don't know if any of you are there yet, right? Or you could, of course, do the self-help option, which is what I'm assuming you're doing. And that is choosing to spend time with one of the entries on your backstory, such as either significant person, a significant item, place, whatever, something along those lines to help you get some of your sanity back.
Yeah. Okay, Nora, I'll make you a deal. First off, please stop going to places investigating until I'm back. It's already been a few weeks. I will be back on my feet quick. The trail won't be any colder. But I'll make a deal with you. I will stay here. I'll listen to what they tell me, even though they're wrong about how healed I am. If you go and get...
Yeah, I really picture Forrest as one of those, like, look, I've been shot before.
Yeah, I already know.
I can feel whether it's really healed or not.
Yep. I know if you get these from the drugstore, and I remember this was here. I never read them before, but something tells me it would be a good idea to do it. If you could get this from the drugstore owner, tell him his daughter will get equestrian lessons for it. If I can borrow them, I just got to read them. It's the Harper McLean horror mythos listing. I think that will help me come to terms with what some of the weird stuff we saw, and may even have some information in it for us.
Let's see.
If you give me that, I will listen to the doctors and the nurses.
I will get them for you, but I have not been investigating anything.
Nora, you can give me a library use check to essentially recall who Harper McLean is as an author.
Success.
All right. So, Tom, did you want to describe Harper McLean as an author?
Harper McLean.
I'm assuming Ava knows in some way, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
I think I was there for the conversation last week.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Harper McLean is metagaming. He's a creation of a character that I had a character named Harper McLean, went to the mirror universe, did everything wrong. I mean, I made Tom made bad decisions for what the character would do. Even what the character did, he failed at, and it wasn't even good enough failure that he would, succeed. So from that perspective, if he's like that in the mirror universe, he's got to be perfect in the real universe. So Harper McLean, well-known author of a wide variety of different books in different genres. He's been equated to being the love child of if Agatha Christie and Ernest Hemingway got together and had a love child who was then trained by Indiana Jones. He's that. I mean, people don't use the term MacGyver it; they use the term McLean it. He is that good. So,
according to his books, either.
That's actually like, he is actually that good. He's a character I could never actually play.
Right. Yeah.
But so that said, he does know a lot about the Cthulhu mythos, but has somehow managed to retain his sanity, and he tries to put how to handle it in his fiction. And he wrote a series of horror comic books with the concept of giving people a way of how to deal with the Cthulhu mythos if they run across it. And if it will start to appear, kind of like, what happened with the Dracula books. We all know that those were, yes, they're fiction, but, in reality, they are, several textbook ways to deal with vampires in them. That is correct. Same thing with, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Yes, it is. But, when evil scientists stitch together monsters, this is how you have to deal with it and how they will be affected. It's a way of hiding the truth in fiction.
Did you just add a B to Mary Shelley's name?
It's entire
maybe
have you not met me? It's entirely possible that I did that. Yes,
it's Shelley, not Shelby.
That's possible. Okay,
that's great.
Yep. No, I didn't. Just came up with this off the top of my head, so I didn't have a chance to practice. But that's who he is, and that's what those comic books are. Is information, nothing serious, but just things to spot to know when things are getting weird.
Nice.
I mean, it's the horror comic books are where I first learned how to deal with vampires.
Yeah. There's good information in there somewhere. They're educational in a way.
Right? I didn't, and that's what was big back then for comic books.
Yes, exactly.
There was some superhero stuff.
Penny Dreadful kind of stuff was late 1800s, I want to say.
Yeah.
But a lot of that still kind of carried into I think up to the 50s, I want to say. Yeah,
it wasn't
some of the superhero ones are coming out and everything as well, but
it wasn't until the 60s that the superhero genre kind of took off. Up till then, it was horror well into the 70s. Yeah. I remember having a collection of it when I was a young kid.
Yeah. I think it's just detective and action comics right now as far as superhero stuff goes, right?
Yeah. That sounds about right.
I forget where Marvel is at this point.
They were doing horror comics because they were still known by the previous one.
Yes.
And
I think that sounds right. Anywho, one thing I do want to mention before we get too far, of course, is the content warnings that we have for our this part of our story anyways. And those are, of course, amnesia, still dealing with that one every once in a while. Blood and gore, disembodied voices, guns, and violence. I mean, we have Forrest here, so we never know when a gun's going to be drawn at this point. Especially if it's to protect Nora. So,
They don't
but
want
yeah,
me.
I wanted to make sure we got that.
Yep.
For everybody watching. So Nora, you are studying, which it's essentially a master's in philology, is what it is. Had to look that term up again.
No, I think that might be like a minor. The languages isn't her major. Her major is she's going for a Master of Arts in Applied Sciences. So like electrical engineering or computer sciences.
Oh, okay. All right. Awesome.
That side of cryptology.
Nice. Yeah, I was trying to remember it. I knew philology was a big part of your skill set.
Yeah, that's one of her
I forgot.
interests alongside. It kind of goes alongside the cryptology.
Yeah.
Because it's
You have
obscure languages
and everything.
Yeah.
Physics. That's right. Yeah. Sweet. Which makes a lot of sense with the department and everything that you're where they have you as a cover to intern for right now.
Yeah.
Especially since it's wish I could find it on our little handy dandy map again, but it's essentially right next to you or in the same building of the Department of Engineering in the school, which makes sense. I mean, physics and engineering, it was very much a similar area. And that, funny enough, also the department that's on campus that has one of the early computers at this point in time. Which, let me see, that's Bryant. There you go, move it over there. All right. It's the Cruft Lab has what's known as the ASCC right now, I want to say, which is essentially, as what we would know it today, the Harvard Mark I computer, which is similar to, I believe, Turing's ACE computer in a couple ways. So the one that he made now-ish, or started to, because I think he started making the ACE computer after World War II. But yeah. So that's very, very likely. It's essentially like a lot of the professors that are in applied physics rather than more theoretical and everything physics that Dr. Sommerfeld does. Dr. Sommerfeld has a decent amount in applied physics as well, and I think one of the classes that you took with Sylvia back in the spring was one that was an applied physics course. But it's pretty much it's all in that same area, right? Which works very well for Nora. And Forrest, if you let's see, I believe you get to do a Constitution roll.
Okay.
While you are recovering in the hospital. You do get a bonus die because of the treatment that you have had so far.
Okay. So first, the Constitution roll.
Yes.
Okay. And then what is that's a 1d3?
Correct. Yes.
1d.
So you get a D3 hit points back, essentially.
Okay, and so I basically get 2d3 then for the, or is the bonus die something else?
Oh, the bonus die was on the Constitution roll.
Oh, okay.
So it just improves your chances of making the Constitution roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
But I mean, you passed anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah. Okay, and it's a pass fail.
But does a better? I was gonna say, but does a better success heal more, or is it just a binary?
That's one of the things I'm actually just about to double check. Did you do another?
I did a bonus penalty. I wasn't sure what the bonus penalty button does.
Yeah, so that's replaces the 10 digit, the tens digit in your first roll. So that would essentially be a 63.
Yep, which was not
So not better,
not
but
better.
still a pass, right?
Yes,
If
still a
that was
pass.
the one you had to go with.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I follow what you were doing. Now I follow last time.
Right.
It's starting to make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all good.
So 1d3, so I get back 1 hit point.
1.
Yep.
Slow recovery, but at least so far. That's essentially week 1. You get one each week, and we'll have, I believe, essentially 4 weeks.
So, so when do you do if you're doing self-help? When do you do the sanity healing rolls?
I'm assuming we'll essentially go through that when we're able to get into when Nora's visiting you with the books you asked for.
Okay, got it.
And we'll go into that, and that'll likely, I'm guessing, be a similar self-help for Nora as well.
Okay.
But I don't know if Nora also has another self-help thing planned, because you do have your study space at the university.
Yeah,
Things like that.
I'm not concerned about that at the moment. I mean, I'm down 6 sanity.
Right. Yeah.
So like she doesn't even notice the effects of anything other than just worrying more about Forrest, but he's still recovering from his gunshot wound.
Yes.
I mean, there's no reason not to do it, but it's just that Forrest is one of her significant people.
Exactly. Let's see here.
She's doing most of her studying in his recovery room, in his hospital room or whatever.
That's kind of what I figured. I figured that was where your study room was at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to look that up later if I can find it. Okay.
And then in her free time, she's talking to the people at the library and trying to figure out who the giant asshole was.
Right. That sounds good.
That's what I have him listed as in my notes, is giant asshole.
No, and your descriptive notes of him and everything, very detailed again. The drawing,
he's like 7 feet tall. He's
not so much.
hard to miss.
Right. But yeah, that's essentially what you had from before. Your bag that you had with you on the movie set and everything, same bag that you had with you when you first came back, had the 2 books on cryptography that you checked out from the Armitage collection. Was of course missing the Tome of Iskan. So that's also something that you don't remember what happened to that.
I think I confirmed the professor that I did give him the book that I got it.
Yes, that's right. You confirmed that over the phone.
Yes.
Let's see. You would have had your notes in there on the 7-foot man.
Giant asshole.
Right.
That works. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, go ahead and give me, I'd probably say, a spot hidden as well. So like, Forrest is back in the hospital and everything. He's in good care, it seems. He requested the books. You left to head towards the library, at least to get the books, possibly towards your dorms, just to, get into your room and everything and get anything else that you might need, change of clothes, shower, whatever, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't usually sleep at the hospital.
Right, exactly. But go ahead and give me a spot hidden check. We'll say when you get home. Ew. That's not a good reaction.
It's a 76.
That is not that great.
That is ew.
I mean, 13, but you could also push it if you want.
Yeah, I think I'll push it.
All right. All right, there we go. Okay, so you get back to your dorm. Everything seems pretty mundane. Everything's pretty much as it normally is. All the other people coming and going, it's almost as if they didn't really even notice that you were gone.
I wouldn't notice if one of them were gone, so...
Right. You get into your room and everything. Nothing has happened to it in the time that you're gone. There are a couple things that are a little different from how you remember. But I mean, the last thing you remember before the movie set was being in the cafe, and you don't
Right.
have a exact memory of what time you actually left Cambridge for California.
Right.
So some of the little differences you notice around your place might be things that you did before you left.
I think she'd definitely take note of those differences.
Yeah.
And
with
give
a hard
each
success,
one of them a critical eye.
Yeah,
because
yeah, I
she's
think...
pretty set in like routines, like I
Oh,
am.
exactly.
I put my keys in the same place every time
Mhm.
because if I don't, I will lose them because
Right.
object permanence.
Right. And you don't have a roommate right now. They haven't
Yeah.
assigned you a replacement one for this semester to replace Sylvia.
Right.
And like looking at everything with having a hard success, you do essentially realize like, okay, these all make sense for things I likely would have done.
Okay.
Especially knowing that I'm leaving the dorm for like a week, right? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the different things are fairly clean. Might, depending on how you describe things, might be cleaner than normal, just so that nothing will happen in the time you would be gone, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But one thing that you do spot and everything is because I'm assuming you go to your room, you take things out of your bag, put any additional stuff you might need back in, stuff that you didn't bring with you to the set. Something falls out of your bag and kind of hits you on the foot enough that it like causes a little bit of pain, like noticeable enough, but not enough to actually hurt or damage you. And you look down, and at first it looks like it's essentially like something similar size as a pocket knife. That was probably you think in the bottom of your bag. And it's not something you remember owning the day that you were in the cafe.
All right. Well, I mean, she'll bend over and pick it up.
Okay.
And try and figure out what it is.
It is something that you would recognize, given your experience in, cryptography and the SSU and everything. Let's see. I lost the name of it. It is a Minox miniature camera. It uses 9.5mm film and is essentially a spy camera about the size of a pocket knife. One thing as well, though, you notice that there is kind of like a little tin. It's probably one that would be like a tobacco tin, like a very small tobacco tin that seems to be kind of hidden a little bit under your bed that you see. Like when you pick up the Minox camera and everything, you see that tin there, and that's another thing that you don't remember having there last you recall.
All right. Yeah, I will pick that up too.
Yeah, it's like a very basic kind of tobacco tin. So also like if you like rolled your own kind of cigarettes.
Nora definitely does not.
Right. Yeah.
She doesn't have the time
Which
for that.
is why you likely never bought one of these before, right?
Yeah.
But based on what you can tell of, you remove it from that spot under your bed and there is that little outline of dust. It's not like there's a lot of dust because it's only been a week. But you see like, okay, it's as far as you can tell, it's been there the whole time that you've been gone.
Okay.
And it's a I'm not familiar enough with tobacco tins to know if this is exactly accurate, but I'm going to say it's essentially a rectangular like tin, right? And it would be made out of actual tin, given the time period and everything. But yeah, at least I'm pretty sure, because steel was a hard thing to come by. But yeah, it looks like one that was a tin you probably bought locally, if it was something you bought. I don't know if Nora keeps records of every little purchase that she makes or not. Right,
don't think
especially when it's
so.
something very essentially inconsequential as just a little thing of
Yeah.
tobacco. Do you open it?
Yeah.
All right. Feel like I should say make a sanity check, but that's not what's going on.
For anybody watching, that type of minutia question from GM should
Right,
always make you
exactly.
nervous.
Yeah. Yeah. Even when I don't say it in a way that's supposed to do that, I know that's what's causing it. Right.
Yeah.
Both being a GM long enough and a player, that every time it makes me want to do something, but I'm like, no, this is normal. It's fine. But yeah, you open it up, and on the inside, there is, let's see, something that's roughly the shape of a coin, shape and size of a coin. Or at least the size of a coin. I don't know if they're exactly the shape of one. And there is also this little like pea-sized clear disc in there, kind of set into essentially the inside of this has a felt lining that has specific sections for these pieces to fit nice and snug to keep them safe.
Okay.
And then the tin itself is about the size of like a playing card. So like over the top of that area that has the felt compartments, or that pea-sized clear disc and the like coin-sized device, is one single playing card. That just looks. It essentially has like a queen as a playing card. If I don't know what would be specific for Nora, but like if there's a specific suit that Nora would have, it would likely be that one, either suit or color or whatnot.
Okay. So just thinking about Nora, it's probably either club or spades.
Right.
One of the black suits. I don't know why. That just feels
That's
more
fine.
like Nora than one of the reds.
I was going to suggest spades, honestly. Right. But I did. It was supposed to be something specific for your character. So, looking at this, go ahead and give me an intelligence roll.
Hard success.
Hard success.
Easy to do on a 90.
Right,
well,
but still, pretty
awesome.
awesome. So yeah, the little, clear pea-sized disc is what's known as a Stanhope lens, which helps you better recognize the coin-sized device, which is a microdot camera. So it's roughly the size of a coin, and I mean like I think a quarter, that sort of size, right? But it looks like it's another spy camera.
Okay.
And the card that's in here looks like based on the fact that it's in the container it is and everything like that, right? And I'm assuming like a lot of this is kind of under almost like a false little layer that's easy to remove of loose leaf tobacco.
Yeah.
so that anyone else opening it real quick is not really going to be knowledgeable of what's really in it.
Right.
But the card looks to be one that is also used to conceal either a map or something. So essentially, you peel away the face of the card, and it's got, the inside of the card contains like a map or some sort of either a document or that sort of thing. I don't know if Nora made herself a note about the books that Forrest asked her, but I'm curious now if she's going to forget about it after finding these things. You're like, what the hell is this? She, with her intelligence, it's not likely that she would forget. But I know if it was me in this situation, most other things would go out of my mind finding something like this, right? But yeah, the just so you know, a microdot camera is a coin-sized concealable camera that can take a picture that is about the size of a tiny dot that you need essentially a microscope or a similar viewing device like the Stanhope lens in order to see what's actually on the image. And with your hard success, you don't recall using these kind of devices before because you've never done that level of espionage work.
Yeah.
Right?
Espionage isn't really my forte.
Right. But from what you recall people talking about and everything that the dots that essentially have the image that develop and everything from the camera can make something that's essentially a picture of an entire page of text be about as small as the period at the end of a sentence. Which is thus why you need a very specific lens in order to even see. And you probably have to have lighting in the room good enough and everything to do it, obviously. But yeah, that's what this is that you find.
Okay.
So you found that you have essentially like a pocket knife-sized spy camera, and then you have a coin-sized spy camera as well that you left in the room, hidden-ish, right? I am going to have Nora give me a sanity check with this, actually.
Fair.
Just given the level of what this is, right? But you're good. Right. Obviously causes, a little bit of anxiety and curiosity at the same time with why and what this is and everything.
But yeah,
is it even, right?
Yeah, the first suspicion upon finding the tobacco tin is that somebody was in my room while I was gone, dropped it, and didn't notice it was missing.
Right.
That was at seeing it as a tobacco tin, seeing what's inside of it, you'd know the shit was missing.
Right.
This isn't something you drop and forget.
You wouldn't accidentally do this. So essentially, if Nora feels like this is either something she got in the time you don't remember, or she doesn't remember,
right?
Or someone else, like Agent Gleason or something along those lines, essentially dropped it here as like in the espionage world, an intentional placed it here for you to find.
Yeah.
Right.
But I just saw Gleason not too long ago.
Right. And I mean, any of the other times Gleason needed to pass something on, he just handed it to you and the times you would meet him, because it's not like you're in an active war zone or anything. You don't need to be this level of secrecy necessarily when just handing off an item.
And that the pocket knife size camera, I didn't write down what was it. It's like miniature camera. Minox.
Yeah. Minox.
That was in the bag that I had with me.
Yeah, that was in the bag you
shoot.
had with you. It was just like in the very bottom. Whether or
Okay,
not
yeah.
it was intentionally put down there and kind of with everything else over it, or if it just, eventually settled down there, right,
Yeah,
given the
yeah,
size.
yeah.
But either way, it was something you had with you on the movie set. And I mean, there was no real reason for anybody else that you were there with to go through that bag, right?
Yeah. So I'm thinking she's probably going to be late coming to the hospital today, or back to the hospital, or whatever.
Right.
Because she's going to try and figure out what's on the playing card.
All right. Let's see.
So she's got like her desk, and she's gonna. Well, she didn't even have her study supplies set up
Right,
here, so
yeah,
the desk
not
is
even
actually
yet,
pretty clean.
Yeah, you literally were just starting to essentially repack the bag to just immediately go to the library or to get, cleaned up the
Yeah.
stains or whatnot, right? Let's see. I believe really the best thing I can think of for this would be another spot hidden.
Ooh.
Ooh. That was a pretty bad failure. So you're looking through and there's a way to find along one of the edges. There's like a little hard to find separation where you can kind of peel that away and find what's on the inside. You can't seem to find it.
Yeah, and pushing could risk ruining it.
Right.
Guess I'll take it to Forest.
Right. Possibly, yeah. But yeah, it's.
So she forgoes the shower. She will get what he asked.
Right.
The books from. She will get the books.
Do you ask about the man while you go to the library?
Oh yes, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not passing up that opportunity.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. You were still listening. Sorry, I don't want to get in the way of that.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, she forgoes the shower, repacks her bag, keeps the tobacco tin and the Minox camera in the outside pocket of the bag.
Awesome.
And yeah, she'll go to the library.
Awesome. And let's see. So the events the last time was November 7th, which was a Wednesday. So you made it back and everything. This is probably because you probably flew overnight, right? Being the fact that the sun essentially was either going down or just went down when the events happened at the motel. So this is probably still early enough in the morning on Thursday. So it's probably not even, it might be like 10 or so in the morning, which I guess isn't too early. But being the fact that you've likely been up most of the night, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of thing. And I'm trying to guesstimate based on how long a flight might be from California to Cambridge at this point. But that's my estimate that I'm going to go with, right? Not quite lunchtime yet back in Cambridge. And I can see Ava is looking this up at the moment.
About 5.5-hour flight from Los Angeles to Cambridge.
So yeah, no, this seems about like a right time period. It's probably about 10 o'clock in the morning. Given the time of both the flight to the hospital, the time of care, waiting there, being with Vorrt until you're like, okay, I feel like I can actually leave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rocco was probably also seen by medical professionals and then cleared. I'm going to say Cherry went back to either the hotel or wherever else she's staying at in the area. Yeah. So you go to the library.
Yeah.
How are you going to go about checking to see if anyone's seen this man?
Let's see. Given where I came across him, there was basically someone that I had to talk to get to the Armitage collection down in the where it's kept. So I think I'd start with them.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you go down there and the
Whether or not it's the same person down there at this time doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a luck roll for that.
Yeah. My good rolls are gone for the night, I think. I'm up in the 80s now.
It does seem like it's a different person than it was that night.
That's
this
fine.
is probably whoever has the shift at this desk in the morning.
Makes sense.
Right. And I believe essentially asking someone this for what you're looking for would either be a charm or persuade.
Yeah.
Which looks like it's about... No, charm is a little bit better for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure, let's give it a shot.
Oh, so close. So close.
That might be
it's only 9 away.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 53 luck.
Yeah, it is only 9.
Right. And that seems, with a 15, I mean, that's definitely better to try rather than pushing a roll, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll push that.
Okay. Or spend luck, rather.
Or spin luck, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, not pushing that.
Right. Yeah, so you was like 7 foot tall guy?
Yes.
Well, I don't know if he was 7 feet tall, but I mean he did seem rather tall and rather athletic. Came through here. And like they describe some of the other features that you remember, like I believe let's see if I have my notes.
Let's see. Larger than forest, bulky, nondescript.
Prominent nose, dark eyes. Right. So yeah, it does seem like they're describing the same person. And it does seem like they spotted him just kind of like walking by once or twice in the past week. But they never see them with a book or check anything out. They never even make eye contact in any way.
She's there investigating Lurch.
Pretty much, right? I don't even know if the Addams family was around at this time. It might have been. If it was, they might describe them as Lurch, honestly.
No, I don't think it was. It was a little later.
Right, yeah. I think it was 50s, was Addams family. But yeah, the 7-foot man was...
So the Addams family originally appeared in a series of 150 standalone single-panel comics, about half of which were originally published in the New Yorker between 1938 and the creators death in 1988. So it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, this person would probably describe and use Lurch as a term for this guy. Because he's not necessarily stocky. He's not like oddly thin though. Like he wouldn't stand out in that sense, but he would stand out just based on height alone, right?
Although it does seem they were unnamed until the family members were unnamed until the 1960s.
Gotcha. Okay, so they might not use the term Lurch, but at least who they're referencing from the comics. Because it was still, it was called Addams Family in that time still. Yeah, Addams Family was, that's what it was called then. Yeah, it was just like, yeah, the tall one in the Addams Family, the one looked kind of like that, right? That's yeah. Why? I guess why you ask? Someone you know?
I ran into him the other day and was
Okay.
curious if anyone knew his name.
Oh yeah, I haven't talked to them directly or anything, and I don't even think I would want to. Give me just a very kind of creepy vibe, right? Um, but yeah, is there anything else I can help you find?
No, that I think that's it. Wait, no, I need
Huh?
right. I think those will probably be upstairs though.
Oh, what? What would
She'll
like mention?
find her notebook where she wrote down exactly what
Yeah, yeah.
Forrest wanted her to
Right,
grab.
yeah. And he goes like, "Oh yeah, no, those are great." And he like tells you the section that they're
Yeah.
in and everything in one of the areas upstairs.
Thank you.
Yeah. Probably American fiction, essentially, right?
Right.
I'm guessing Harper McLean was American, anyways.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So yeah, so you make your
Also,
way. You
Nora will
get
be slightly more paranoid on hearing that, like,
right,
the guy's been seen around.
right,
Now she's hoping not to run into him again, obviously.
right. Go ahead and give me spot hidden rolls while you go and or roll, I should say, right, as you go and find the book. All right.
If he's here, I see him.
Extreme success, right? Yeah. Yeah, there were a couple moments where like your kind of paranoia and anxiety kind of peaked in a sense that like you thought you saw something out of the corner of your eye and you looked and there was nothing, and that seemed to happen a couple times. And like your nerves and everything are definitely ratcheting up a little bit from it, but you find the book that Forrest was looking for, you go and check it out, and then on your way out, like you're at the front door leaving, and you kind of see something out of the corner of your eye again, and like as you glance going through the door, you see the 7-foot man off in one of the stacks on the far end of the library, but looking directly at you. And then he kind of just steps behind one of the bookcases as he notices you look at him. Go ahead and give me a sanity roll for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
no.
Wow.
Ouch.
Cannot get worse than that. Man.
Yeah, roll a d6, actually.
Yeah.
6. Yes. All right. Let me take a look at your character sheet. That might be bad.
Well, I mean, it's not at her level. It's not 20%.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
no.
So this doesn't cause temporary insanity, thankfully. I mean, it definitely wouldn't have been indefinite, but ouch. Okay.
That's a 6 sanity loss.
So yeah, like you feel your heartbeat in your chest and everything. You feel like your hands and everything's getting sweaty and you're breathing.
Oh yeah.
You're pretty much like you're starting to have a bit of a panic attack. And then what kind of snaps you out of that moment, at least enough to keep going, is someone goes like, "Ma'am, can I get by?" And like they just need to go through the doorway, right?
She basically just squeaks out an apology and bolts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you get out of the library and everything just fine. But it definitely does seem like that man is still present in some way.
Uh-huh.
Right. I assume you go right to the hospital after that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think with that we'll probably go to break if you still want to do break, I guess.
Yeah, we can.
I think 5 minutes I could refresh my drink. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, we'll be back in 5, folks.
Thank you all. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Shadows of Nox, Echoes of the OSS. We're continuing with our first kind of initial trip into the code. So for those of you joining us again and everything, this should be fun times. Everything going all right there, Tesla?
Yep.
Okay, all right. I couldn't quite tell if something was going on a tech end because you seemed like you had almost a worried expression for a second.
No, I'm practicing.
Okay, yeah.
For what's about to happen.
All right. So to catch everybody else up, if they didn't see the first part of this, Nora just got back to her dorm room with Forrest in the hospital and everything after the events at the motel the other day. And she discovered a couple spy cameras and a couple other various espionage-related paraphernalia that she needs Forrest's help to kind of investigate a little bit further. And then also had a brief, thankfully not very eventful, run-in with the 7-foot man at the library. So, Nora, you make your way over, probably hail a cab or something, get over to the hospital.
Yeah.
Maybe depending on the way the security detail is, maybe Rocco gives you a ride to get from the hospital, which would just be hilarious, right? Given that the last time he gave you a ride, it was directly outside the library, right after seeing the 7-foot man. But anyways, either way, you get over to the hospital. Get up to Forrest's room and everything. Forrest is probably not necessarily asleep, but still resting, right? Just kind of sitting there listening to either the radio or that sort of thing while waiting. I don't think even Forrest would necessarily feel, despite how tired and everything I'm sure he feels, he probably is still, wanting to know that, Nora's at least there okay or whatnot before he actually drifts off to sleep. So
Yeah. No. Well,
that's my assumption anyways.
Yeah. No. And when Nora took a little extra time, so she's later than he expected, correct?
Right.
Yep. And how does Nora's face look? She just lost 6 sanity.
I imagine she's still
Probably
noticeably
normal.
pretty pale. Yeah.
Okay. What's wrong? Come here. He reaches, he like stretches and reaches out, starts to turn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That hurt.
It did, but if he does that and grimaces, she comes right over immediately.
Exactly.
Immediately at his side, yeah.
And that's probably why you only got 1 hit point back from this time around, right?
Yeah, it's stupid stuff like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and slip. What's wrong?
I'm fine. Nothing happened.
You can give me a psychology roll if you want there, Forrest.
Hey, who knows? It could always.
If you want, you can do a fast talk, which is essentially what lying is, but you don't necessarily have to.
Oh no, she's.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna push it. Which means, I'm gonna try to dig into the
really try to read all those minor facial expressions and everything, right?
Yeah, and it just gets worse.
No.
Yep. And it just got worse. Okay.
Either she's just really worried about you, or she stubbed her toe on the way in, or something.
Yeah, right.
That's the best that you got.
Yeah. Did the nurses say something? I'm telling you, I'm
maybe
doing
lack
much
of sleep.
I'm doing much better. They're just a bunch of nervous Nellies. I've recovered from a lot of bullet wounds.
You can give me a spot hidden though, as well, Forrest. Yeah, go ahead, Nora.
There you go. That I'm better at.
With that, you do notice that she didn't shower like you knew she initially planned on doing. Because, like her hair is still about the same way it was before, right?
Okay.
Probably still the same clothes, because I don't even think she got changed necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. you're still wearing this. I mean, yes, this outfit looks good on you, but you were still wearing the same thing you wore yesterday.
Right.
You haven't showered.
Yeah.
Okay, just here, pull the chair over a little closer and sit down. You look like you're about to faint.
No, no. I'm fine. She does pull a chair over and sit, like, even as she's saying this.
Yeah.
Yep. No, and he holds onto her hand.
I picked up the books.
Okay.
Where do I even start? Okay. Well, you recall me telling you about the man I ran into at the library last time, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's still around the library pretty regularly, it sounds like, and I saw him as I was leaving.
Did he see
and
you?
Yes. We
reading over sanity loss real quick again. Actually, 5 or more is what causes potentially temporary insanity.
Oh, really?
So go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
Yes. Barely, but a success.
Okay.
I'm still in the 80s.
Actually means that given that I was late in figuring that one out again, you do remember that you saw him, but for the most part, you've repressed that memory.
Okay.
So, like, a lot of the details of it, you've repressed. Like, like, no, I'm pretty sure I saw him. You're not quite sure where or when or anything. And you probably don't even remember the conversation you had with the attendant that someone else has seen him, right?
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. If you failed it, then it would actually be a temporary insanity because your brain wouldn't try to logic through it and protect you from it.
Right.
This is your brain's way of being like, nope, don't need to worry about that right now. That didn't happen. Right?
Okay, so a bit different answer to that question then.
Right. And like you would still have enough to know that you saw him or something, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I saw him. I was going to ask others if about him.
And you would probably also know that you don't remember as much as you feel you should, at least.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I would know that. She's vague on details.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know enough to know that she's not intentionally being vague on the details, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, she's doing that stare like through you at the middle distance where she's like, I was at the library. I know I was at the library.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got the books that he asked for, but I don't remember getting the books. I don't remember.
Yep.
And she's trying to like walk her way through the library again and just coming up blank. And
this happens. He didn't touch you, but this happens. Happened to me when a grenade went off very close to me one time. Mm-hmm. I ended up 50 feet away, and didn't realize what I was doing until I dropped the buddy on the medics in front of the medic. This happens. You just got scared more than you're used to. My hands are like, a little frustrated because he wants to actually pull her in for a hug, but he can't. So he's, trying to do what he can with just the one arm that can reach her. So you, so don't. A lot of times it comes back. You just need to let you got startled, you got scared. Once your brain has a chance to recover, what you need to know will come back. This is you. You always know what you need to know. Okay? This isn't, Rocco, who obviously forgot he was supposed to walk you into the library. Okay, this is you. You remember what you're supposed to remember. Okay? It's one of the great things about that brain of yours. So it's okay.
And for her memory, Rocco very well might have too.
Yeah.
Right.
This time.
Yeah.
Right, so that works.
Yeah. You're safe. And if obviously he knows you're around the area. So if he was actively coming after you, he would have already done it. Now, I will.
We just got back.
Except we don't know.
Please forget that I said that. I don't need you being overprotective anymore.
I would argue that
of course you would.
I'm exactly the right amount of protective, because that guy is in the area, but I'm not bolting out of this bed to go hunt him down. Okay, I'm trying to just make sure that you're okay.
She takes a very.
You're what's important. I'll talk to the commander about what needs to happen about that guy.
She takes a very intentional deep breath to try and just calm herself, and reaches into her bag again and pulls out the Minox camera and the tobacco tin.
All right. Which, Forrest, you recognize at least the Minox camera immediately. The tobacco tin, of course, it's a tobacco tin. It doesn't look immediately like anything out of the ordinary.
But for her it is.
Oh, right. But in general, right?
Yeah, that's not the.
Yeah, it doesn't look like something you would know her to have for a specific reason.
That's not the.
Okay, this
tobacco
might. No, it's not. Something in I don't know where I got these or how. The Minox camera was in my bag, and fell out while I was putting things away. And she'll open the tin.
Mm-hmm. Which you see a playing card on top, or at least the tobacco, remove the fake tobacco kind of tray or whatever, right?
Yeah, and then she'll open the tin and set the tobacco aside. And this was in my room. It seems like it was there the entire time we were gone.
Okay.
And she'll explain what each item is, not expecting him to immediately recognize them.
Well, I recognize, the camera. I recognize the micro dot. Yeah, that's. Well, I mean, I don't see them too much most of the time. That went to the commander. But.
And you said that the playing cards, those were specifically used by the OSS during the war?
Right. Yeah. So you would know, like Nora would know what those are. Forrest, you know what those were used for. Forrest, I'm going to say you can recognize that this looks like something that someone opened at one point, but is done enough in a way that they could kind of reseal it at least enough. So you're able to at least recognize what this playing card essentially is.
These are why I didn't shower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I take the card and kind of take a good solid look at it. See if I can open it up.
Okay.
Is it just
go ahead and do a spot hidden roll.
Okay. Okay, here's the trick to it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're able to find it and peel it away and everything.
The trick is you lick your thumb beforehand. It gives you that little bit of extra surface torque. It's not the right word, is it? Tension, surface tension when you flick over it, so that you can grab a hold of just enough of the.
Can I check the film in the Minox camera?
You can. Opening it, unless the room is super dark, might expose all the film though.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, so he peels away the card and everything. And Forrest, one of the first things you see, other than seeing 9 dots on the inside here, which you know is microdot film.
Yep.
That are on here. So, taken, developed 9 bits of microdot film. But you also see a very familiar symbol. It has that green triangle with the circle in the center that has the 3 dots on each point of the triangle. Similar to the one you saw that the pilot had that flew you over to your meeting with Agent Gleason.
Okay.
So that symbol is stamped in here.
Wait, before this all started, the pilot had that same symbol.
And I have updated the handout for the card with that little information that symbol is on the inside.
Yep, I see it now.
And I will also add that it has dots.
You want to take a look at these microdots?
Yeah.
I mean, you may already have.
Maybe.
There is a kind of a very thin piece of note paper in here that seems folded in half. So it's a piece of paper that's folded in half that's still thin enough to be able to fit on the inside of one of these cards. That's in there. That folded up note paper takes most of the space of the card itself, because the microdots only take up one area, and then the symbol itself is kind of stamped.
Okay.
Probably on the note paper itself.
Okay.
Okay.
So the note itself, if you open it up, I don't know which one of you does. But it opens up and it looks like it's in Nora's handwriting. Kind of like notes what would seem to be to herself of a another mission, essentially, or an addendum to one of her current one with Dr. Sommerfeld, rather, that she was told after the events that happened at the library with the cafe and everything, that apparently Agent Gleason told her to try to get more verifiable information on what's going on with Dr. Sommerfeld, being that if something happened with a book he wanted you to check out, try to see what more you can dig in as far as what's going on with Sommerfeld.
Apparently, she's already accidentally been doing that with that phone
right.
call she made to Gleason while they were on set.
Right.
Because she specifically asked to be involved in that.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks like find any bit of intelligence on what his activities are outside of his teaching, that you can, and take pictures of it. Essentially, is what the gist of the note in Nora's handwriting says.
Okay.
Doesn't have any indication as to what that symbol means. Nora, you can give me an intelligence check to try to see if you recall anything.
Yeah.
An extreme success. All right.
Heck yeah.
Nice. That's pretty much what you needed.
Nice.
So seeing the symbol and everything, you remember vaguely. You don't. A lot of the details aren't quite there yet, but after that incident and everything, Agent Gleason actually showed up at the cafe and everything. You all went to go be debriefed, kind of thing, and then whatnot. But what you remember is you had, as far like you think you had a one-on-one meeting with Agent Gleason, and he brought you into an additional project, essentially, that, or at least mentioned some sort of thing that he referred to as Delta Green. And that's when he gave you the Minox camera and the microdot camera and the tin and everything, and told you to get more verifiable information like this on Dr. Sommerfeld, and try to see where is his interest in with this book, what's going on, why would some random 7-foot tall man be interested in this book, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And Agent Gleason you do remember that in that conversation he mentioned the guy with the cane and the peg leg to figure out where he lines up to in all this. But there's not much more than that you really remember. Someone else was sitting in that room with you, though, with the two of you. You can't quite remember who else was in the room. And Forrest, pretty much how a microdot camera works and everything, at least enough, right, to be able to take pictures yourself and then read it if you get it. The exact science of it probably is, it's a camera, right?
Yeah, it's as far as Forrest is concerned. Things.
Right, but you do recognize the little piece-sized clear lens that's also in the case. That's there to hold up and to read a dot, or at least see what the image is. So you know how to take a look at these pictures and everything as well.
Yeah, no, well, she kind of got lost in visual.
Right, yeah.
Look, so I would,
in her memory. Yeah.
I would take a gander at what one of them looks like.
Okay.
I assume we got all this spread out on the
Right, that little hospital
hospital
right?
table tray that
Yeah.
Has a little dish that still has some Jello on it, probably.
Oh
Right,
no.
Oh no, the Jello's gone.
No,
The Jello's gone.
These guys aren't
Plates
feeding
licked
me.
clean.
Yeah, these guys aren't feeding me well enough. I mean,
but yeah, so you take a look. Go ahead and give me a luck roll.
of course, now I fail it.
Of course, right?
And to be
All right.
perfectly honest, I started saying that before I even saw the roll pop
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's exactly where
so
my luck is at right now. 44.
You look. What languages does Forrest have?
He has English.
Thought he had. All right. Cool. Go ahead and roll an English check. So essentially you look at one of the little dots, and the first one you look over is writing in a language you don't recognize. And it looks like handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at it, you're like, you have no idea. Like, you're not even sure exactly what language it is. You're trying to hold the lens a little differently to see if you're seeing things wrong. I'm assuming Forrest has library use. Go ahead and give me a little library use check, and we'll see where that one lands. Nice.
That's kind of nice.
So you do recognize the general format that the writing seems to be in. It looks like this is probably a picture of the page of a journal.
Okay.
And because you got extreme success, you finally feel like, oh wait a minute, oh, it's in German.
Okay.
You have no idea how to read German, but you at least recognize enough to like, oh yeah, that's right, that's what this is.
All right, that dot's in German. Look at the next one.
Yeah, it's all German handwriting in the general format of
these look like all German journal entries, which is well beyond my capability to read.
I remember something after the cafe. I had a meeting with Gleason. The symbol there.
The pilot. The pilot I flew after I met him the first time the first time you saw the guy.
Which was a chartered flight Gleason set up for you.
Yeah. He set up a chartered flight, and the person had that logo on there. With everything in flux, I kind of figured it was an OSS, but thinking about it, it was chartered.
No, that's
chartered by Gleason or whatnot. So some connection in a way with OSS, but whatever that is might be a different agency, organization, classification, project. You're not sure.
So, do you remember anything more about what the meeting was about?
Bits and pieces.
Okay, I told you.
These are mine. They were given to me by Gleason.
Okay, good.
I mean, those notes are my handwriting. I don't remember taking them, but
that means that somebody else wasn't in your place, which makes me feel better.
Let me see the card. She's gonna take a look at the.
All right. Forrest, since you did also get an extreme success with your library use, one of the 9 dots does look like it's a picture of the cover of the book or whatnot, in a way that you can see the spine on the cover, and it looks like just a very basic, plain, leather-bound journal. The spine of it just has the initials HS 1945 on it.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's nothing else on it. It's very basic. Nora, are you taking a look at the card and the dots and everything?
Yeah.
Give me a luck roll.
Don't like that.
Okay.
Not the way my luck is.
Right. So you can speak, of course, German and everything.
Yeah.
You get over to one of the pages and go ahead and give me a German roll.
Extreme success.
Extreme success. Yeah, you can read this real easy. Okay, so I will edit this a little bit. I might make it a little tedious, but might be the best way to convey what I need to. Oh, X. Changes in. All right. So let's. Hopefully this works. I'm assuming you share this information with Forrest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's another handout. One picture of generally what each page looks like, and then March 30th and to the entry for April 27th, which it's all of this year. HS is of course Hans Sommerfeld. That's the entry that's in the journal itself. So the one for March 30th, which is the same day that Sylvia went missing, right?
Okay, yeah.
His journal reads, I am so engrossed in my research with the tome that I think it may be affecting my ability to teach and journal more routinely. I'm only in my second semester of teaching though, so I may just need to get my bearings a bit better and budget my time better. I am still considering asking Nora to help me in my research, as she has a fascinating mind and was somehow already familiar with the tome. If I wasn't so paranoid that she was more than what she seemed, I may have sought her assistance earlier. Although I feel that I'm likely very wrong about her, and I need to give people more of a chance. I know logically I will eventually need help, as I can't complete this mission on my own. Maybe I will mention my research again to Nora in class tonight. Which, in reading that, Nora, go ahead and give me a sanity check.
Yeah.
All right, you're good. So you remember the only way, as of March 30th of this year, you would have known about the tome is when you happened to go back to 1944 and mentioned to Dr. Sommerfeld that you did hear of the tome before. You didn't talk about it any more than that, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned to him that you were familiar with it. And then, of course, you get the other entries as well. And you clearly remember he didn't mention anything about that research to you that night.
Okay.
That class. But there's an entry for the following Friday, which all of these entries are on a Friday, and he mentions he tries to do it routinely, so that seems to be his routine, is he does a journal entry every Friday throughout the year. But the following Friday, he said, I feel horrible. I wasn't able to break through my anxiety and talk to Nora more directly about my research. I really need to let my paranoia go. Talking with a therapist would probably be a good idea, but I am sure the Americans would start scrutinizing me more. Probably even have me tailed on a daily basis if they don't already. And that was April 6th. Following week on April 13th, I met the most interesting woman today. Her name is Eve Whitley, and she seems to be a bit of an academic. She shows understanding of electromagnetically induced acoustic noise and its correlation with electrical oscillations, though she does not seem to be a physicist. I suspect that she may be rather gifted. I suggested that she should attend one of my classes and consider enrolling, but she said she has no money to go to the university. Which, Nora, you know Eve is the woman he's been seeing throughout a majority of this year.
Yeah.
But I don't think you ever knew like what happened around the time they met or anything like that.
And
Right.
You've never met Eve yet.
And he met her on Friday the 13th. Oh, isn't that a good omen?
Right?
I know, Nora. Superstition doesn't mean anything.
Right. Last entry that you see on that page, Friday, April 27th. Finally finished up the semester. Teaching has been great, but it fails to divorce my mind from the horrors that I saw in Berlin. I really hoped that it would pull my mind away from it all, but I fear I'll never be rid of the nightmares. Only my research has helped to ease my mind, though I need to keep my sanity with more than just my drive for work. Something more personally emotional would likely help ground me. As much as my friendship with Nora has helped me, I feel that I need to find something more. Maybe Eve can help me settle my mind. I have wanted to teach her and cultivate her gifts, especially since she seems so down on her luck financially. We'll potentially have more time together now that classes are no longer in session. So hopefully she'll be interested. I am excited to see what more she knows. Which that's the first time you've ever seen a mention of the fact that Dr. Sommerfeld is apparently has dealt with nightmares for a while because of what happened to him in the war.
Eve sounds like a honeypot. Do you know what that term means, Nora?
I'm familiar.
Okay. Well, it wasn't,
And
but I mean that's how
Teslan,
they would
go
do
ahead
it.
and give me a D4 roll.
Who?
Teslan. For Forest.
It's not.
I was just basing
only a 1.
Yeah, I was basing it. I was basing that on the fact that they would have given us some training.
Right. Yeah.
Or actually, after
give yourself
Sylvia,
1 sanity back.
Okay.
Because Forrest has a very good gut feeling on that one.
Yep. Because
I can't give you experience or like a drama point or anything in the system, so that's the closest thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, it's something that it's something I was trained about, and for some reason, a while back, Gleason decided to start reminding me about on an annoying basis to not fall for somebody. So it I don't know what but what would the Reds gain from Dr. Sommerfeld?
He was in Project Manhattan for a while.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. Oh, okay, I forgot about that.
All right.
But he's
but that's really the main thing that you can think of, right?
I mean, well, they're still after that, so
you can both go ahead and give me another luck roll. each. I want to see where this goes. I'm assuming you look at another one of the dots. All right.
Yeah.
See which
Yeah.
one Forrest is.
Wow.
All right. Let's see here.
We haven't made a luck roll yet, have we?
No, not yet. It's
No.
not working out for you guys yet.
And
Our luck is failing.
I mean, they're all well above 70, which I can only think of like 2 characters that had in Cthulhu that had luck that high.
Right. June, May. Okay. So I'm going to give you essentially a couple more pages of this journal. And we're only going to go in, there we go, to one of those pages specifically on stream tonight, but the rest will be there for you both to essentially read.
We haven't told Gleason about our memory loss, have we?
Probably not.
No.
Thing is, with this, I would think you would have told this if we talked about it, you would have gone to Gleason for it already.
The memory loss?
No, the honeypot. If you already read this, which it looks like you had, maybe
probably.
But you will. I just don't.
Gleason is also the one who passed these along, so it's likely he already has this information as well.
Okay, yeah, he would have. Yeah, trust me, he would. If he was a honeypot, he'd already be acting on that. So you're right. That makes sense.
If he's a honeypot?
No, that Eve's a honeypot.
If Eve's, right, yeah. I thought I misheard something there.
Yeah.
I heard the same, so it's not just you, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, no, he's yeah.
All right. So essentially you uncover pages after April 27th. So Fridays of May 4th all the way to June 1st. And then you see another page that's a Friday in October. Let's see, Friday, October 5th to October 29th, when that event happened in the library, where you ran into the man went and to go get the tome and everything. So I will deal with the pages from October. Reading that, with how good your success was on German, I'm not going to have you roll another check. Like you can read his handwriting in German and everything. It's fine.
I figure she's probably rather familiar with his handwriting, so that makes sense. Even if it's German.
Right. Friday, October 5th. I can't believe this. Harvard has gotten rather upset with me as of late, or at least the library has. I got a rather unprofessional call from the head of the library earlier this week. They're forcing me to turn the tome back in, and even mentioned that they would have to get campus security to take it back from me if I don't comply. I don't get it. I am teaching without issue. Everything is going great. So what if I'm a few months past due on renewing the tome with the library? I was the one that donated it to begin with. Why would it be this much of an issue? On top of that, I think Eve noticed that I got a bit unsettled when she showed me her book. So I have to deal with that too. And that was Friday, October 5th. That following Monday, so he's doing this out of his routine for some reason. Monday, October 8th. I had to return the tome. I know it's integral to my work, but so is my own health. I was stalked all weekend by one of the campus security guys, some weird 7-foot-tall man. I felt like my life was in danger. I haven't felt this scared since the war, but I need that tome. I have to have it, but I have to stay low for a bit. Somehow I will have to find a way to put my project on hold until I can get the tome again, without drawing too much attention. This cannot work without it. Plus, now I have to tell Eve that the battery, which has quotations around the word battery, is broken or drained somehow. Maybe she will have some ideas of what we can do in the meantime. I am so glad we are still together through all of this. October 26th, so almost the whole month of October. He didn't seem to journal at all between these two. I can't take it anymore. I need that tome back. I hope I can think of another way, but I might have to ask Nora to check it out for me. She's the only person at the university that I trust. I need her to help me. I really do. I just couldn't stand the thought of putting her in danger, and I don't know how much campus security is still watching the tome. Maybe it's best that I wait until Monday before I ask. I fear that I'm not going to be sleeping much this weekend. Thankfully, Eve is still around to help keep me going. And then October 29th, when he asked you, right, is a Monday. So that, out of his routine as well, other than missing the time, not doing it on a Friday. I'm such a monster. The 7-foot man showed up again today and probably scared Nora to death. So apparently this is after that event, and you mentioned some part of it to him. She was able to get away with the tome, though, so that's good. I am just happy that another man was there to help her get away safely. The guy helped her get to the coffee house and meet up with her friend Forrest. Then he was able to bring the tome back to me. I was quite suspicious about him at first, but then he talked about Nora and Forrest like he knew them for some time. This guy then introduced himself as Richard Fremantle, and even said he would help fund the project without asking any questions about it. Just that he wanted to, in quotations, see the tome put to good use. I was really questioning everything then, because that kind of luck just doesn't come my way. However, he did seem rather convincing and looked like a well-traveled, rich sort of man with his long coat and cane. I figure he would probably throw his money at anything that just breaks up the monotony of life. So, of course, I'll take his money, but I will still be limited on spending it outwardly. I don't want to draw any suspicion. I am really happy to hear that Nora is safe, though. I will have to check on her as soon as I can. I'm glad that she has Forrest at a time like this.
Well, now I have a name to go with the...
Yeah. No, well, we should.
And now you know what happened to the tome after that little incident, at least, right?
We
and
should.
With that, I think that will be the end of today's stream.
Yeah.
I know a lot of information. There's still some of the other pages you uncovered in there as well, but you can feel free to read those in the meantime. But yeah. And of course, this doesn't help jog Nora's memory of how much of that incident you actually told to Dr. Sommerfeld.
Yeah.
But if he got the book from this Richard Fremantle guy, that means you saw him sometime after he already got the book back.
Yeah.
And at least sometime, either that or maybe this Richard guy told Dr. Sommerfeld about the whole 7-foot man incident. You're not actually sure.
Yeah.
But that also means the Richard guy probably knew about it too.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you have 9 of these dots. So far, you've kind of read through 4 of them, one being the cover of the journal, and then the 3 pages here.
Right.
So there's about 5 more pages worth.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Well,
Tom, do you have mod powers on this channel?
Yeah, I do. Sorry. I missed it, huh? Give me a second.
It's obviously a bot.
Yeah, that's normal. They
even missed the beginning quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
But yeah, I don't know if either of you two have anything else going on this week as far as streams go. As far as this one goes, because Tom, I'll give you a second.
Yep.
Oh, nope, you already did it. You already did your thing.
Oh, yeah. No.
But yeah, as far as this one goes, we're going to be doing this again next Monday on the 9th at 9 o'clock. And we'll get to figure out more of what they uncover from Dr. Sommerfeld's journal. What's going on between Dr. Sommerfeld and Eve, what this, I believe the journals mentioned some sort of, of course, his research and everything, what he's doing, some sort of battery that was in quotation marks, as well as Richard Fremantle, who he is potentially, and this 7-foot man.
Yeah.
So. Well, I need to heal up.
Yes.
So I can go find a 7-foot man.
Go ahead and give me another Constitution roll, as I'm sure you guys will be investigating this over the next week.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, another con roll.
And you will have a bonus die to this because of being in the hospital, which looks like you might need. 66.
I give. Actually,
you
for
can
that I will use. For that I will use a luck.
Yeah.
That I will use a luck. So
right,
what?
So you, with the stress of everything going on, probably hindered things, right?
Yeah.
But give me a D3.
Yep.
1. Oh man.
So
after this, you have 2 more D3s that you could potentially have. Where's that put Forrest at?
I'm at 1 hit point.
1, and then this one, so 2. Because you were. Oh no! You had 1 from first aid at the scene. You rolled 1 for your initial con.
I was down to 3. I was down to 3 damn.
Down by
okay,
3.
wait. Okay, I've been doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been doing it wrong. So I went from 3 to 4 earlier.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
This is 4 to 5.
So this puts you at 5. Yes.
See, I was thinking that was a damage counter. It's not a damage counter.
Yeah.
No,
so at best, if you do really well with the next 2, you'll be at 11 hit points at the end of a month. Yeah. At this rate. You know what? Roll me that D3 again. I want to see how much Roll20 hates you for one thing. Okay. All right. Give yourself 2 more hit points over the course of those first 2 weeks. Since you rolled a 1 on that sanity game, I'm going to say that was your reward for your instincts as far as Eve goes.
Yep.
As a player.
Okay.
Being able to heal well.
So I'm over half. So I'm over half my damage.
Yes.
What
So
point
you have
will the hospital
6 more to go.
Yeah.
But
what point does the hospital let me go? Leave to recuperate out of here?
Probably after the 3rd week, maybe halfway into the 3rd week, they'd probably let you go if you wanted. They would probably feel like you're good enough at that point, but still would be like, take it easy, right?
Yep.
Here's some pain meds, some antibiotics, because I believe I'm pretty sure they had at least penicillin at this time frame. So
yes, they did.
Yeah. But yeah, so that is where we'll leave it. Do either of you two have any questions for me, real quick? For this? All right.
No.
If you think of any, feel free to write them down. We'll touch on them again in the next stream. Obviously, this is going farther into the investigative end of things. So I want to make sure if you think of anything as far as that goes, that I can help either clarify or, help you go in the right direction, right?
One thing I will mention, Forrest starts to journal.
Okay.
It's going to be rough, but
right.
he wants a He wants a daily log of what he's doing. It could be just something just really simple.
Right. Right.
Did this, did this, did this.
Right.
And euphemisms for stuff that, you know, he doesn't want other people reading about, but he wants to be able to reconstitute his life.
Yeah, right.
If he forgets it again.
Awesome.
And I can say honestly, after the experience they had, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And with the books for Harlan McLean.
Yes.
Right? Yep. Yeah, you'll be able to regain some of your sanity from, or at least roll to regain.
Okay.
Which I believe is a chance. I don't know if it's actually. I'll have to double check, but we'll figure all that out next time as well.
Okay.
Because that'll be more towards the end of that month that those benefits will actually kick in.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh yeah. We'll be streaming tomorrow night. Generally starts between 7 and 7:30, or 7:30 and 8. Another Shadowrun. Another Shadowrun game. This one should be nice, simple. They just got to do an escort. I don't know what could go wrong. They just got
nothing could go wrong. It's simple, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of
they just got to escort a fungi.
Yeah, it's a milk run.
A fungi tech
like
executive
checking
through
a
the
book out of the
Seattle
library,
Underground.
right? What could go wrong?
Yeah, the simple bodyguard escort job. And it's titled, wait, did you see that?
I love it. All right.
Believe we'll be doing Being Villainous on Wednesday again, and Thursday night we will be back with on Gen Con TV with Emerald Glitch, where they put this. So yeah, they've made the plan, they executed the plan went off the rails. Now they're throwing away the plan.
As you do.
Yes. So join them at 8:00 Eastern on Gen Con, on the Twitch TV/Gen Con TV, where they throw away the plan. And then we'll be back next Monday. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Yep. Good night, everyone. Thanks very much.